Look, I'm just a geologist. I like rocks. I love rocks.
Yeah, I just wanna throw out there the story I read.
Dinosaur fish?
Here's the fish. So newly
All right,
discovered
go.
end of April. End of April, so it's like a week old. Maybe that's why I thought I sent it to you, and it turns out I did not. I looked through my emails. I sent it to you in my head. And
That's all that really matters.
so discovered this fossil. They're dubbing it the river monster dinosaur, Spinosaurus, and it lived in they found it in the Sahara Desert. So when rivers flowed through 100 million years ago, and it's the first like true dinosaur they think lived in water. It was a powerful swimmer. Most they thought like lived on land.
Are they saying earliest or only first discovered?
First time such an adaptation for it to actually swim and live in water. 100 million years ago.
So it went from water onto land and then back into water.
I don't know about that, but
So Spinosaurus is the guy here. That's what you're talking about.
Spinosaurus, yeah.
So fun fact: Spinosaurus, he was discovered in like the 1930s ish by some German, and during raids, like in the war, the museum was destroyed, and the bones of the Spinosaurus were also destroyed.
Hmm.
And aside from illustrations of the bones, we have nothing.
Wow.
They're gone.
Crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So actually, Allison was on an expedition when she was getting her PhD at Penn. She was over in that area trying to find another Spinosaur. No dice, but they tried.
So they're saying it's so the one they have the tail, and they say the results are fully consistent with the idea that it being truly water-dwelling, tail-propelled river monster.
That's interesting.
Wow.
I wonder how they would be able to, just by bones, looking at it and seeing that because I would expect
They did
any sort of soft tissue, like an impression.
So,
but they were also saying it was sort of lunge out based on previous things that I'm aware of.
So it's
not a fish.
They made a flexible model of the tail and attached it to a robotic system mimicking swimming motions. They got published in Nature. That's all I know.
Oh, well.
But yeah, so I've heard like he is probably water dwelling. Sort of like a crocodile now, like
or
sort of hangs out on that marginal area and just sort of hanging out. And then when something comes to take a drink, you reach out and grab it. Just like a whale did. Like
what? Like a? You're saying a whale like a crocodile?
Well, I switched gender or species, but like crocodiles do that. They hang out in those like transitional environments and they lunge out and grab something. Whales, when they were evolving, they did the same thing. The name of the whale that I'm thinking of, like, it escapes me at the moment.
I would always call it the walking whale, the one that had the feet.
Yeah.
The walking whale.
I'll text you guys at 3 a.m. when it hits me finally.
Pretty excited. But the whales, sorry, I know I keep interrupting.
So like he was also living in that transitional environment and would lunge up and grab stuff. But I mean, it's been done before, so why wouldn't dinosaurs do it? Like birds today also live like penguins. Like there's a couple years ago, like 2 years ago. No, that seems too far. Within 2 years, there was a dinosaur that apparently had sort of like that really fine downy skin like penguins do. I don't know how they're able to get that good of an impression, but apparently they found something that sort of looks like a penguin, like a dinosaur that looks sort of like a penguin.
Is that so this is totally this is taking a stretch here, but like are these like adaptations that led to like the tetrapods, the Tiktaalik, that like the first land creatures? I guess there's nothing on land for them to go up there to grab. I read an interesting thing talking about like the genetics behind it, and they're talking about how like evolution works, and thinking about before they become land dwellers, they actually have fully developed lungs before they actually go on to land.
It's like what is that James Cameron movie, The Abyss, where they go into the abyss and they're in that like aqua suit and they have liquid oxygen, and they like teach people like when they're going down into that deep abyss.
Yeah.
The abyss.
Keep saying it.
Maybe
like,
James Cameron will be a Patreon.
Yeah, so they're in these suits and they had to learn how, like they're like, you have to train your body to breathe liquid again. I don't know that I don't know why that's where my mind went.
No, I kind of got off. I was, when you said about them coming up on land and trying to grab things, I was thinking like, why did tetrapods develop legs to go up on land? And I was like, oh, maybe they went up to grab stuff, but no, it doesn't make sense because there was nothing up there. Plants.
Yeah, I don't know.
Worms, maybe. What was up there? Nothing.
There's got to be something. Plants, maybe.
Plants, and worms.
Maybe like tastier plants were growing up on land. Like, I'm not getting out of the water unless I get something.
Pretty sure the chicken came before the egg. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It popped up last week. It was 2 weeks ago, end of April. This thing about
Tim,
river monsters.
We'll have to have you back on the show. We'll all do some research.
See you again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea of like dinosaur evolution is just sort of strange too. Like the early days, like when dinosaurs first showed up in like the mid-Triassic, like they were probably like from a like what they wanted to eat, they were probably really a generalist. Like sort of, I'll eat leaves, I'll eat meat, I don't care. Just that's probably what made them so successful. And like seeing these little things like sort of radiate in all like sort of directions, like it's pretty incredible. Like the idea of like the variety of weird little creatures, dinosaurs that we have, like that's really incredible. And then the idea that like flight probably evolved like a number of different times, like these really simple things. I've had to like it's really incredible that there's this radiation of creatures out there.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to stop talking now.
No. It hurts my head to start thinking about that.
Yeah, like, one of the things, like, and you think about like some of the inferences we make about like dinosaurs, we have very few. It's sort of like the idea with Spinosaurus, where like it was identified. There was probably one or two different species or one or two different like sets of fossils that all just got blown up. Like there's specimens. There's there we are. Paleontologist. But like we're basing it on like small sort of sample sets. Like how do you define the difference between a baby dinosaur and an adult dinosaur, or two different species?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay, good night.
It's a problem. Like, the like ceratopsians, they're like everywhere. How do you know like those little changes that differentiate between like a large and a small one, like that, like your body goes through a weird thing, like it changes over your lifespan.
Right. Like just proportion wise, like small children to adults, their proportions are all different. Like their torsos are not the same length as their limbs and things like that. Like if you were to just bury us for 100 million years and then look at us, you might think like, oh, all these small dinosaurs.
Well, how would you think about it? If you're a paleontologist, like just a theoretical thought experiment, how would you be able to link caterpillars to butterflies together? Just looking at it from, 100 million years later.
Oh man.
God.